The only thing I'm having issues with is the ones on the tips of the saucer.
Yes.
And these are reminiscent of what we designed in our ship initially, early on.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm just wondering what those are for. Like, does this have any kind of separation capability? It doesn't look like it from the sculpted body.
It was originally going to have a source separation. It was never going to have a multi-vector because that as a function isn't overly useful, especially not for this sort of craft. No, it's a single craft with just, and actually Rick agreed with me, but his direction was mandatory of having those third sets of nacelles hidden to make a reveal. We haven't got that restriction, so I thought, well, obviously put warp nacelles in the tips. It's a very natural place to put them. We know that you need a line of sight, except when you don't.
And by this area you don't, because they've gone way beyond that.
Yeah, I mean they have, I think you said this specifically. They've a special conduit in between the two inside the hull, which has got a special mineral in it, which allows for a direct energy, conductive, direct, line of sight. It doesn't need to be an outside thing. But if you are on this picture 6, if you actually look, the real reason why there's the pieces underneath the nacelle is actually because of all these nacelle pieces, all these things. Each engine unit can have a line of sight with another set of engine units. A set of grills.
Redundancy in case there's damage.
Well, not just that, but line of sight is not mandatory, but no. I still would hold it's the most efficient / most stable warp system. So there's line of sight between the third set of nacelles on the bottom with the warp sustainers, or with the two big nacelles, which is a very slight line of sight at the top. Or, you can have multiple different lines, or obviously the two mini ones. So there's multiple lines of multiple sight, which help create this, again, stable field. It's not limited to two have to have a thing. It can be multiple things in multiple directions.
Okay, so in my understanding, the warp sustainers are the ones on the lower part of the
most tacked on ones, yeah. Yeah.
The main wars.
They allow a line of sight with the bottom two.
Okay, but the bottom two, now the Bizards on those are heavily shielded.
Yes.
What's up with that?
They don't need to be full Bizards. We have enough Bizards. And so Rick said, let's make them a bit different. And so I said, well, what would we have done in Voyager Season 8? And he said, slits, efficiency, controlling in different ways, armoured look. He suggested a sense of that, and then I sort of sketched it, designed it around that. It's just different function. You're right. It's different armor. It's different whatevers. I mean, each unit. You're right. Is each unit beyond the sustainers / I mean, they really are just warp 2 coils or warp 3 coils. They're not, but they would act as sustainers as well. Each set of warp coils can create a full warp 9.975 set of warp. But they're meant to be in unison. And yes, you can turn off 2 to save them and recover the. If you want to do...
you cycle between them at high warp to save burning out the warp coils.
Yeah.
They have a limited lifespan anyway, so...
So it's also heavily redundant, but it is also meant to be used 6 in a system, because the mission for this is not to explore each system, just to explore things that would be useful, genuinely useful, like comets that have mineral you've never seen before. Well, we'll go there and explore that. And we can go up 9.975 for the 36 hours we need to reach it. Or we can go up 9.99, whatever the max speed is, for a shorter time, but still beats Prometheus. But is there anything else you see on the bottom? Because it's very different, the bottom and the top. They're pretty radically different views with a lot of different functional things.
I do like the deflector, where the deflector's mounted. I think that's very cool, and very reminiscent of the Enterprise E, and the color that it should have been. I don't know why they made it yellow. I like the blue look with that style. It looks good, so I give you kudos for that. Plus, you've got the lower planetary sensor dome, which is very reminiscent of the TOS Connie, with the color and the design that you have there. So I like that tie-in as well.
It's a big one. It's going to be able to scan planets. There's such a direct reference from like the Nova class, which has very much that color. That's because that's this timeline's equivalent. Just obviously much more dedicated. I mean, the deflector's fun. There's a lot of 3D geometry in that, because I went full geometry here. And it's a very much a combo of like the E plus the Voyager, though the best deflectors of the time, but how I do my own version, and there's little details in it and such.
And the correct color.
Yes, well,
because Trekyards correcting things since.
I mean, that's one of the best things about working with Rick, is that where he drew the transporter emitters. That's because they should go there. Like the just instinctively putting where they should go. I think you'll agree that this feels more canon because the pieces all connect. You know, it wasn't me as the fan saying, "Oh, I think this should go there here." You know, I had my own suggestions and my base design, but he reverse engineered back into a very functional, obviously, sort of ship.
That's so cool to have that joint design status with Rick Sternbach. That's just amazing.
I said this when I got the gig, as it were. It's a bucket list item I never knew I could have.
No, exactly, yeah.
And I will for always be very, very grateful to him to say yes and to develop something so cool. It's very surreal, even to me, even now. And the sketches he originally sent were just like, I blew my mind.
Rick's an amazing guy, so
yeah,
I'm glad you got to work with him, and that's really cool.
Thank you.
But let's move to the next picture, picture 8.
Close up.
Yeah, here, okay. There's a few things to talk about.
Yeah.
First of all, I like the aggressive points on the phaser strips as opposed to the rounded that you see on the Enterprise D.
Yep.
Not really necessary, probably, but it adds to that aggressive look because of those the pinstriping and the points. Another. Oh, go ahead.
It's a very high detailed, slightly advanced version of the Prometheus. Because again, every single piece I looked at the canon and thought, where do we go from here? And then obviously talked to Rick and had his little thoughts. But it's not quite Renegades level, which is an important distinction.
Another thing I'm noticing is the escape pods, and they all have their own, well, I don't know if you call it a registry number, but their own identification numbers.
Yep, fully carefully worked out, wonderfully done by my texturer. Yeah, and then hopefully some Easter eggs will be in those as well. Some little numbering jokes and stuff. Yeah, and then just the next version of escape pod shapes from Rick Sternbach. That's what he would have done next. Okay, cool. And what do you think of the sort of stepped but organic look? Everything's so integrated and yet so distinct steppage. Like, it's a weird contrast of shapes, but I think it works. I think it still works.
It's nice because I like this better than Prometheus for that reason.
Okay.
Prometheus is just such a smooth slope. It always kind of bothered me a little bit. I do like the Prometheus, but this, like I said, is more. There's more dimensionality here. It's much like the Enterprise E, and I kind of like the stepping approach. Yeah, it's cool. You can tell, like, you can see where the decks are easily enough. Like, and there's a good differentiation there. I mean, even with Voyager, with the way the hull is, it's hard to tell where the other decks are just by first glance. And this one you can definitely see. So
now, can you see the cheekily, sneakily hidden dual torpedo launchers? Has the audience seen the dual torpedo launchers?
Oh yes, ooh, I like that.
Yep, sidewards mounted.
Cut in there. They're kind of similar to the ones I put on the Foley class on the lower part of the primary hull, like the torpedo style ones. The primary hull. Yeah, that's cool. I never noticed that until you said it.
Yeah, they're subtle. It's a space for them, and he drew them next to the bridge, and I was like, oh, I would never have thought to put them there. But if he thought they're good to put there, I'll use that. Although the space didn't quite work with a vertical, so it went horizontal because it only fit. But we actually got two in. And there's like a laser pointer, is I guess what it's meant to try to be next to it, the direct, dedicated sensor grid. But actually, if you look at like the original, well, I mean, the Nova has torpedo launchers sort of hidden nooks in the front, so it's certainly a Rick style. But like I said, I would never have thought to put it there, but there is. If you go back a step or 2 steps back to picture 6, you can see right in front of the sensor dome, super just incorporated into the shape, is actually the quantum torpedo launcher bay.
Excellent.
I've never been a fan of quantums per se, but this sort of ship you would need them. So it's still, specialist armor, but it's not their primary, but they are there ready to use. So the next picture though is the back view again, higher detail. You can see closer up. You can see the aft torpedo, the dual aft torpedo launchers. Is a duplicate of that on the bottom that neatly fits in. So very different to the front launchers, but again, form follows function where you can put them. And you can see one of the last steps of this model, because obviously it looks quite done, but we're going to put full interiors like Tobias Richter does for his highest end models. And so you'll see a nice shuttle bay control in there, hopefully with consoles and stuff. And hopefully there'll be 2 full shuttle bay models. Hopefully, so I can open the doors and see shuttle bays.
And ironically, the Foley has 2 shuttle bays as well. One at the front, one at the back. It's actually a fly-through bay. We've designed that. But anyway, so interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hate you for not sharing this with me. I could have helped you design this.
But I wanted it to be unique. Like, yeah. So next picture though is a close-up with the deflector and like some of those details. Again, you can see the nice detailing, and you can see the again. I wanted to put every single detail in, so you can see the lower tractor beam emitters just underneath the deflector. It's there where it should be. And again, most of the teeny details, teeny lines, teeny bits are all Rick. Rick thought it should be there, so they're there. Rickanisms,
Yeah, and I'm looking at your shielded nacelles there, the slits you designed, and I get a Transformers vibe from them. Much
I know.
Like
I was wondering.
Bumblebee's battle helmet from Michael Bay.
Yeah.
I can just see it being like a. So
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. There is more of a function to that, I'm sure. I just have to backtrack, work it out, because Rick said that for a reason. So I'd like to talk more about why. But at this point, we had a whole conversation about how rare is matter, not at all. How rare is antimatter? Well, there's a lot less antimatter needed for the reaction, so you can make it relatively efficient. That's what it's there. The ship is there to do that, is to build that antimatter to, even if it's a 1:10 ratio or whatever. And so you don't need infinite matter coming in to burn through. So there's one thing he thought. But speaking of, the next view you can see is this lower, all the warp grills, and some other details at the bottom. I guess we haven't quite finished the detailing of the warp core ejection hatch, but there will be at some point.
I am impressed. I really am. This is a cool ship, and a nice addition to that lineage of Rick Sternbach designs. Not that he helped design it.
Yes.
It definitely fits in with that fleet, is what I'm saying.
And if you go back to picture 2, the top view, my aim was very much to make it feel like it could fit in. If you show this to a set of fans, you wouldn't necessarily think anything different. You'd say, oh yeah. I mean, it might be a bit more glowy than some of the other ones. But if you look at the pylons, it's clearly E pylons, but obviously custom for this. Look at the nacelles; they're iterative versions of the E and the Prometheus, but customized for the sake of Y. For the ship. Then again, the impulse engines, again, they're iterative steps and other things. And obviously the shape, it's Prometheus saucer, but it's far more smooth, organic, less sharp, and yet it sort of elongates into the hull, kind of like Voyager, kind of like the E, but sort of combo of each in terms of it is a full integration of the hull. And one thing I knew very early on when I was doing the tweaking, I knew that, well, if you look at the chronological designs, so Voyager, E, Prometheus, ignore Nova for a second. If you look at the back piece, they've all got this outer shuttle bay element, but starts with Voyager having a relatively small, simple one. E has a longer one. Prometheus even further. The shuttle bay is progressively going further out. It just is. Don't know why, it just is. So I said, nope, in my version, we're not as big as E to have all this raw space. So let's actually bring this shape out. Let's make a dedicated full hangar bay. Ironically, more like the Kelvin or the JJ Prize, because we've got the space now. Why not just pull that right out? And in fact, the shape ended up working really well. Cool. But that entire thing, I think, up until halfway through the struts, is a shuttle bay system. Obviously, multiple areas, multiple bays, multiple construction bits, but it all just shuttle bay, because it's Hyper Long Range Explorer. You need a lot of shuttles, you need a lot of repair facilities, you need a lot of abilities to bring alien ships in to talk to them, maybe, who knows. It's all built in to a dedicated big sort of factory space almost.
Mm-hmm. No, it's really well done. I love the thought that was put into it. The time you took with it was quite extensive from what I understand. So yeah, and there's still more to come because it's not finished being detailed and stuff as well. So I'm looking forward to getting a full episode on this, and eventually a full episode on the Foley. That'll be an interesting month. We'll do a lead up to that, our own designs. Now it should be stated too that this makes its first real appearance in.
Didn't mention that once, did I? What idiot!
No, that's what I'm here for. That it makes its first real appearance in his Convergence fan film.
Yes.
Which is like a crossover of fan film events, kind of like the the multiverse of fan films. So definitely check it out, because I've seen the rough draft of the movie or the fan film, and the ship makes a few appearances, and it's quite impressive. So yeah, if you want to see more of this ship, because I'm sure you do.
Yeah, it's funny. The part of the reason for having this new fan film project is because I wanted to give this ship a send off, like an introduction. So I could just do flybys, and that would be great, or give it a story, and all sort of snowballed from there. So yeah, this is the new hero ship of Convergence, a Star Trek fan production. You'll see its bridge, you'll see other rooms. Hopefully, you'll see this fly it fight it do exploration. Some beautiful shots I've already done for it. And with these other great ships, like as you saw in the trailers, guys, if you've seen the Indiegogo page, like the Intrepid, like the Batavia Nova class, like the Columbia, a Sternbuck class from Renegades. So it'll be part of the fleet. Actually, it's the biggest ship in the fleet. Columbia's actually pretty big, but this is the biggest ship, so it's like the big brother of everyone. And actually, when you see it fly next to like the Voyager, it actually does feel like the big brother. It's strange how but it does. It is kind of fun. So yeah, guys, this is all, this is world premiere Trekyards video of the USS Horizon. So cool. But if you want to see it fly, please do go support the Indiegogo of Convergence, a Star Trek fan production, because we need your help, your funds to get it made, finished, and then give this thing a real, genuine Trek fan story with really cool CG and as much love and attention as I can do for it. So hopefully you can support. That'd be awesome. Any amount will help, and you can see there's some cool perks, including stuff with this ship. If you want this poster signed by, if you want this ship signed by me as a poster, it will be on there somewhere. So please do donate. And Stuart's in it.
I am. I make a cameo in the fan film as well. So if you want to see that.
Although
the Foley class doesn't make a cameo though. Maybe it should be on like a painting on somebody's room.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
Maybe. Yeah. But Stuart, is it really a cameo when you're that important to the plot?
No.
Okay.
I'm not Captain Foley. I play another role.
I wouldn't hire you as Captain Foley. That's not fun enough.
Anyway. So in summary, I think it's a great addition to the fleet. It's got the perfect aesthetic, and like you said, you had the man himself that designs the last half of the Federation fleet chronologically to help you with it. So it's a nice addition to that, and
hopefully kind of like a spiritual successor to what you might have done in season 8 of post D&D Trek.
Yeah. A real joy to see it, and thank you for sharing with us and designing it. It's really well done.
And I can't do any, did it. I made the ship. We can all stop asking now. And, full episode, I can't wait. And maybe some stuff with it and the Foley, because now we can see him fly together. We've got to see him fly together, haven't we? At some point.
Should have Rick on sometime to talk about it as well.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Thanks guys, I appreciate it, and thanks for liking it, Stuart, because you've seen a lot of obviously fan designs. Yeah. But hopefully this feels like it's had a bit more thought put in. It's got this puzzle piece of all sort of clicks. Because a lot of fan designs, not bad. I'm not trying to say bad, but like it's more here's a shape or here's a function. Hopefully this feels like the whole package. Hence why I also want to show it to you near the end, because then it would be its sort of true self, sort of thing. Yeah.
Well, speaking of liking it, hopefully you guys liked the video and the ship. If you did, comment below about how much you like it. Anything you want to say about the ship?
Yeah,
be nice.
Seriously.
Be critical if you want, but
I'm going to read all the comments, so just let me know what you think. This is the Commander Cockings design. It'll be in Convergence. Yeah, let me know.
And if you like the video, click like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Do all that fun stuff. Check us out over on the Facebook page and click all the links down below. There's lots of links to different things. Check them all out. Their Discord and all that. Lots of cool stuff.
I'll be doing a Convergence live about this project and this ship later on before the end of the Indiegogo, so you'll get to see more views hopefully then. Obviously, like us on Facebook for Convergence and support for the project if you want to see more. So see our project, Stuart. Our project. Yay. Obviously, Patreon for us. And one-time donation at Trekyards.com for us as well. All the good things. And yeah, full episode of this later down the line. So until next time, guys, here she is, my baby. Oh, so happy to say hello.
The proud Papa Cockings.
Yeah.
Until next time, guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye.